Hi there, Debt Slayers. This is Stephen with Debt Free Results. I want to talk today about the one additional step that I added to the Ramsey Baby Steps. But before that, I want to read an email that I received last night from a lady in Aurora, Illinois, outside of Chicago. It says, Dear Mr. Gallagher, I want to thank you for taking time to do your posts on the internet about becoming debt-free. My husband and I live in a middle-class neighborhood in Aurora, Illinois, and my husband and I are a dual-income household. We both are in our mid-30s. Our joint annual income is around $160,000. We have 2 daughters in middle school, 2 cars. I have 5 credit cards. My husband has 4 credit cards. We have a lot of credit card debt. I mean a lot. Your message about being a slave to the lender is how I feel every day. We have a small savings account of about $23,000 in a savings account making 0.0002% interest, LOL. And we both save money in our 401k. I'm going to the bank on Friday and asking them about a high yield savings account. I never knew that there was such a thing. And that's something that we talked about the other day in reference to putting your emergency fund into a high yield savings account so that you can make between 3.5% and 4.5% interest instead of, as she was saying, 0.0002 interest. So it says, it seems like we make good money, but at the end of the month, after paying all the bills, we have very little. We have a mortgage, 2 car payments, 9 credit card bills, my tuition, a personal loan, and on top of that, we have the girls' school activities and sports. It seems like you understand how we feel, being that you were in debt and got out of debt in 2018. We are both sick and tired of being sick and tired, to quote Dave Ramsey. We want to become debt free. Can you help us? And we've been in touch via email last night and this morning, and we're going to pick a time when we can talk about what their goals are and my services and how I can help them. So what I sent to them last night, I wanted to talk about today, and here's the Ramsey Baby Steps. All right, I just printed this off. But a long time ago, I added an additional step, and this is Baby Step 0. And what I have my clients do is track their spending in a book for 2 weeks. When we did this, I thought of this process when we met with our debt coach back in 2017, and I had asked Heather and I to do this for a week. And so I show this to my clients when we meet, and I did this starting September 1st, 2017. And that first Monday, I went to Dunkin' Donuts, spent $4.83. I got gas for $25. I had lunch out for $12.20. And tolls both ways was $3.25 for a spend of $45.38. So at the end of the month, a lot of my clients say, I don't know where my money's going. I make a lot of money, or I make good money and I have my bills, but I don't know where my money's going. A book like this, if you write down all of your daily buys, your purchases, your spends, and at the end of the 2 weeks, when we take this information and we put it into a spreadsheet and then we analyze it, this will tell you where you're spending your money. You might not think that going to Walmart and buying a Pepsi for $3 is a big deal. But if you're tracking your buys or your spending, you might be doing that every day. And if you do it 7 days a week times 3, that's $21. And you times that by 4, and you're up over $80 a month just on a bottle of Pepsi. My big thing was Dunkin' Donuts. I used to go to Dunkin' Donuts every single day. This is one of the things that I found. I mean, it was the first thing in my buys was Dunkin' Donuts. And I quickly, after seeing what I learned from this exercise, I stopped going to Dunkin' Donuts and I make my coffee at the house before I go to work. So I saved money. It was something like $1,100 a year for coffee at Dunkin' Donuts. I did a video on this back in, I want to say March or April, comparing the cost of a Wawa large coffee, a Dunkin' Donuts large coffee, and a Starbucks coffee. And I analyzed it for a year, and then the cost of making coffee at home, in my coffee maker. And I think I was saving, instead of spending $1,185, I think it was, I was saving somewhere in the tune of about $900. So for $900 that I could take and put towards another bill instead of coffee, I cut out Dunkin' Donuts, and I don't go to Dunkin' Donuts anymore. So this is baby step 0. Track your spending in a book for 2 weeks. And after you do that and you put a stake in the sand to say, this is where I'm spending my money nonchalantly with the debit card or a Visa card or cash, and you would write that down as C for cash, D for debit card, or CC for credit card. That way we know if you're using cash or credit card. Because another thing about this, if you're using a credit card, and let's just say I did that for 3 of these transactions, then what I would be doing is using the credit card, but I'd also be paying 3% on each transaction. So theoretically, on 3 of these transactions times 3% for a credit card transaction, that's 9%, 3 times 3, 6, 9 on 3 transactions a day. Some days I didn't do a lot. There were some days that I did a lot. So, again, a way to save money on credit card purchases with, the cost of the transaction fee. So I hope that was helpful, and that's what I'm recommending to them to do for the next 2 weeks, is to write down all their purchases or all their spends for the next 2 weeks in a book like this. Because I'll tell you something, it's 2025 now. I did this back in 2017. I still look at this and say, geez, I spent a lot of money on stupid things. And it's a helpful tool to put a stake in the ground to say, this is where we're spending money and this is where we're wasting money, and that's how we're going to save money to put towards bills. So I hope this was helpful. If you have questions, feel free to send me an email. Like I said, I reply to emails as soon as possible. And if I can help you with my services, I'd be more than happy to. I hope you have a great day. Today is Thursday, the 21st at about 12:30. I hope you have a wonderful day. God bless you and your family. Be happy, and we will talk to you soon. Again, this is Stephen with Debt-Free Results. One last thing, can you give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel? And then also, last thing, if you know someone who needs help with debt, I'm not a financial planner, I'm not a financial coach, I'm a debt coach. So I can help people get out of debt. So if people are having issues with debt and they really have no idea as to how to get their hands around it, show them this video, because I'll be more than happy to help them if they're 18, if they're 30, if they're 50, if they're 75. Debt doesn't matter what age you are at, it's going to be there every day. So thank you very much for the thumbs up. Thank you for liking our content. Thank you for subscribing. And I can only get this information out if debt slayers like you share the content. Have a great day and God bless. Thank you.